Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. You may have seen me make videos such as fools rushing. So basically talking about preparing when you go into plant rooms and into buildings and to breakdowns as to what you see and to prepare for it. Well, in this scenario, I'm in a plant room, which is a little bit messy. I walked in and found it a bit messy, but as I'm leaving this plant room, what I should do is make sure that I leave everything as I find it, or better, or even better than how I find it. So ensure that your test points are back on. So if you have test points, ensure that they're right home and so on. Some of them sometimes have silver tape over them. Ensure that the silver tape goes back on it. In terms of the flue test point, ideally with flue test points there should be a proper test nipple, a test point. But if there isn't one, you can report it, or you can put, at least if you've removed the silver tape, replace the silver tape thereafter. Ensure that any test points have been screwed back in properly and that you have used a leak detection fluid to ensure that it is gas tight. When you go to control panels and ideally when you first arrive on site, it's good to take a picture of what you see on the site. So if there's any error codes, you know they were there before you arrived and you have proof in case someone says it was working before you came here. So take a picture of the control panel beforehand and then ensure afterwards that you leave everything how you found it. If it's in auto, put it back into auto. Also, when you leave site, check your temperatures. It's good to check your temperatures as soon as you arrive on site, the temperatures of your clarifiers in the plant room, so that whilst you're carrying out work, temperatures are not dropping and then you get complaints. And it's good to check when you're leaving that the temperatures are also good. Tidy up your tools and ensure that you put everything back where you found it so you don't lose any tools. Sometimes even have an attempt not even to just put your tools back how you found them, but try and find a way of putting things back even better than how you find them. So tools that you use more often, or tools that you use more often, have them somewhere in your bag that are more easy accessible that you can get to, or things that you don't use so much, put them out of sight or leave them in your van. So consider always putting everything back where you find it and look for tools, because tools are expensive and valuable, so we do not need to lose even one of our precious tools. I don't know if you have a material list, but if you do have a material list or tools list that you keep, write on it things that you're missing. So if you need batteries, or if you need something and you're lacking or you're running out of batteries, write it down so that you can go and replenish it without forgetting about important things such as warning notices, batteries for your flue gas analyzer. Make a note at the end of the day of what you need to get either at the end of the day or the next day in the morning, so you don't end up on site with problems with your flue gas analyzer. Don't just read the relevant material after you finish the job in the manual. Like for instance, sometimes we just look at the commissioning page, how to get appliances into high and low, but we don't need to just do that. We can do other things. We can look through the manual and read it for an extra 15 minutes after we finished our job and get to understand more about the appliance. Also, do a walk around the plant room and look at things. There may be things you've not seen, such as there may be a gas guard there that you didn't notice before. This one is up here, and there is also a methane detector over here. Do a recce in the plant room before you leave. Have a look around, see what you see. Have a look around and see what you see. Are pumps working? Why are pumps not working? Have a little quick, sometimes it only takes 5 minutes to have a look around. There may be something in the plant room you've not seen before. Are expansion vessels the right size for the system? Work that's on site and read through it, see what you understand whilst you're there. Yeah, don't just become a robot that goes into the plant room, does your checks for the boilers and walks out and doesn't look at anything. Do additional checks, check what you need to check obviously, but on top of that, have a little recce in the plant room, walk around and see what looks odd. Sometimes some things aren't in there. People don't always design plant rooms correct, because you may miss something that isn't on your list, but it could actually be important, and it can also help you in the next job. And if somebody says to you, when you went to that site, did you see such and such, or did you notice this was wrong? with the flu, or did you notice this or that? You'd be like, yes, I did, because you had your eyes open and you're walking around touching, feeling and looking at what was going on in the plant room, not just going in and doing your PPMs or your basic checks, but you went above and beyond. There should almost always be a recommendation when you go into a plant room. There should always be some form of recommendation, something missing, the safety map, or more ventilation required for cooling, or something. There should be always something to write down on your paper. You should hardly ever walk into a plant room and that plant room is perfect and that you can't find anything afterwards. And there should always be something that you need, that you've taken out of your tool bag, or something that you do not have in your tool bag that you need for the next job that you need to carry with you. So do a little analysis, like how a chess player would analyze how to play their next match better. Analyze how you work when you're working and see what you could do better, what tools you could have, and so on and so forth. All right, thank you for joining me. Until next time, bye.